At 95, Clint Eastwood reveals the disgusting truth about Dina Ruiz' marriage. Clint Eastwood was born Clinton Eastwood Jr.B. on May 31, 1930 in San Francisco, California. His early life was marked by modesty and perseverance. He grew up during the Great Depression in a family that emphasized hard work and self-reliance. As a young man, Eastwood was known for his athletic abilities and independent spirit, traits that would later become essential to the tough, stoic character she portrayed on screen. He attended Los Angeles City College, where he briefly studied architecture before a chancy encounter with the entertainment industry redirected his path toward acting. His entry into Hollywood was gradual, beginning with small uncredited roles in the early 1950s, during which honed his skills and learned the intricacies of the film world. Eastwood's rise to international fame began in earnest with his role as Rowdy on the television series Rawhide 1959 to 1965, where he demonstrated his ability to portray resilience, intelligence, and quiet strength. However, it was his work in Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns, most notably A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, For a Few Dollars More, 1965, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966, that truly cemented his status as a cultural icon. These films introduced audience to the man with no name, a mysterious laconic anti-hero who became synonymous with Eastwood himself. His performances were characterized by understated intensity, a piercing gaze, and a commanding screen presence, qualities that set him apart from his contemporaries and reshaped the Western genre forever. Eastwood's influence extended beyond acting. His films often challenged traditional moral narratives, exploring complex themes such as justice, vengeance, and the human capacity for both violence and compassion. In addition to his acting achievements, Clint Eastwood's director career is extraordinary and spans decades, showcasing his versatility and artistic vision. He made his directorial debut with play Mystiforme in 1971, a psychological thriller that demonstrated his talent for building tension and character-driven storytelling. Over the years, Eastwood has directed and produced a diverse range of films that earned critical acclaim and numerous awards, including Gunfortune 1992, which won the Academy Award for Best Picture and Best Director, and Million Dollar Baby 2004, which achieved similar accolades and further solidified his reputation as a master filmmaker. His directing style is noted for its efficiency, clarity, and deep empathy for characters, often exploring theme and condition with moral complexity and emotional subtlety. Beyond drama, he has tackled historical epics like Letters from Iwo 2006, which offered a rare nuanced perspective on World War I, demonstrating his commitment to telling stories with both historical depth and emotional resonance. In 2008, he directed Changeling, which was based in a true story. The film starred Angelina Jolie and won both critical and commercial success for Changeling. Eastwood received several nominations. After an acting hiatus of 4 years, Eastwood appeared in Gran Torino 2008. The film garnered superlative success at box office, grossing over $268 million worldwide. It also became the highest-grossing film of his career until then. In 2014, Eastwood came up with his next directorial venture, Jersey Boys. The film narrates the story of the American rock and roll group The Four Seasons. Eastwood next directed American Sniper 2014, which became a massive success, grossing more than $350 million in the domestic market and over $547 million worldwide. The film became one of Eastwood's biggest movies commercially. Eastwood's contributions to cinema extend even further through his work as a composer and musician, often crafting the scores for his own films. His musical sensibilities, especially evident in the hauntingly minimal themes of his westerns and the emotionally charged compositions for his dramas, reveal yet another layer of his multifaceted artistry. Throughout his career, Eastwood has earned an impressive array of awards and honors, including multiple Academy Awards, Golden Globes, and Lifetime Achievement Recognition, reflecting not only the longevity of his career, but also the profound impact he has had on the entertainment industry. On December 19, 1953, Clint Eastwood married Maggie Johnson, marking the beginning of his first formal long-term relationship. The couple navigated the early years of Eastwood's burgeoning career together, which initially included modest roles in television and film before his breakout as the stoic man with no name in Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns. Their marriage lasted for more than 3 decades, during which they raised 2 children. Kyle, born in 1968, and Allison, born in 1972. Kyle would later pursue a career in acting and film, influenced in part by the shadow of his father's iconic status in Hollywood, while Allison followed her own path, both shaped by growing up in a family constantly under public scrutiny. Despite the challenges of Eastwood's demanding career and high-profile estates, the marriage endured until 1984, when the couple separated. Their divorce reportedly involved a substantial, with Maggie Johnson receiving between $25 and $30 million, reflecting both Eastwood's considerable wealth by that point and the high-profile nature of the split. The divorce marked the end of the first formal chapter of Eastwood's personality, though it was only the beginning of a complex pattern of relationships that would continue throughout his life. Between 1959 and 1973, Eastwood was in a long-term relationship with Roxanne Tunis, an association that overlapped with the tail end of his marriage to Maggie Johnson. This relationship resulted in the birth of a daughter, Kimber, in 1964, highlighting Eastwood's expanding family even as his fame surged with his roles in films like A Fistful of Dollars and For a Few Dollars More. The relationship with Tunis demonstrated Eastwood's tendency to maintain multiple personnel connections simultaneously, which, though complicated, did not significantly alter his career trajectory. Kimber would grow up largely in the public eye due to her father's increasing celebrity status, illustrating the often blurred line between Eastwood's personal and professional spheres. In 1975, Eastwood began living with actress Dina Ruiz, a relationship that would become one of the most publicly discussed chapters of his personal life. Latch, an accomplished actress in her own right, starred alongside Eastwood in multiple films, including The Outlaw Josie Wales, Bronco Billy, and Every Way Loose. Their collaboration both on and off-screen drew media attention and fascination as Hollywood speculated on the dynamics of their partnership. Despite their apparent closeness, their relationship ended in a high-profile breakup in April 1989 amid allegations of professional and personal tensions. During his time with Latch, Eastwood reportedly maintained several other relationships, demonstrating his complex personal life and fathering at least 3 children outside the relationship, underscoring the intricate and sometimes controversial nature of his family life. Eastwood's private life continued to be the subject of intense speculation, particularly regarding his unpublicized interaction with flight attendant Jaceline Reeves. This discreet affair produced 2 children, Scott, born in 1986, and Catherine, born in 1988. Unlike his more public relationships, this chapter was kept largely out of the media spotlight, illustrating Eastwood's capacity to manage both high-profile and private family matters concurrently. These children, Scott and Catherine, grew up largely shielded from the press, highlighting a rare instance of Eastwood's deliberate privacy. Following his separation from Latch, Eastwood began a relationship with actress Frances Pfizer, a partnership that resulted in the birth of their daughter, Francesca, in 1993. This relationship, like many others in Eastwood's life, reflected the intertwining of personal and professional realms, as Pfizer was an established actress with a growing career of her own. Francesca would eventually become part of Eastwood's extended family network, which included multiple siblings and half-siblings from his various relationships. On March 31, 1996, Eastwood married Dina Ruiz, a television news anchor, marking his second formal marriage. The couple had 1 daughter, Morgan Eastwood, born the same year, completing another chapter in Eastwood's extended family life. Despite the promise of this marriage, in August 2013, Ruiz publicly revealed that they were living separately and their divorce was finalized in 2014. The end of this marriage further reflected the pattern of complex, often highly publicized relationships that have characterized much of Eastwood's personal life, underscoring the intersection of fame, family, and privacy that has defined his decades-long career and personal story. At 95, Clint Eastwood has once again captured public attention, but this time not for a new film or a directorial triumph, rather for his candid and unflinching reflection on his personal life, specifically his marriage to Dina Ruiz, the legendary actor and director known for his stoic presence on screen and his razor-sharp storytelling behind the camera did not shy away from revealing the complexities, disappointments, and intentions that marked his relationship with Dina Ruiz, whom he married in 1996. "I think people imagine a marriage with a Hollywood actor as glamorous or perfect," Eastwood stated, his tone measured but firm. "But the reality is often far from what people see in photographs or on red carpets." Dina and he had our moments, but there were also aspects of our relationship that were deeply challenging and frankly unpleasant. Eastwood did not mince words when addressing the difficulties that arose over the years. He recalled how their differences, both personal and professional, began to accumulate into tensions that neither could easily resolve. Sometimes you realize too late that two people, no matter how much affection or respect they have for each other, are fundamentally not in sync with each other's lives, he explained. He emphasized that while the public tends to focus on the romance and the picture-perfect moments, very little attention is paid to the day-to-day friction, the disagreements over family decisions, and the sometimes overpowering stress of maintaining two separate yet intertwined worlds. For Eastwood, balancing his career, personal desires, and the needs of a partner was an ongoing struggle, made even more complicated by the constant scrutiny that comes with being an internationally recognized figure. The actor-director also opened up about the emotional toll the marriage took on him. You try to be patient, you try to understand, you try to compromise, Hazade, reflecting on the years he spent trying to make things work. But sometimes compromises just aren't enough. The underlying issues remain and they fester in ways that nobody outside of the marriage can see or appreciate. Eastwood's frankness revealed not just the challenges of his own situation, but also served as a window into the broader human experience. The idea that love and compatibility are not always enough to sustain a marriage, even when both parties genuinely care for each other. Financial matters, too, were a subtle source of strain, though Eastwood did not dwell on them extensively. He acknowledged that in high-profile relationships, differences in lifestyle expectation and financial management can exacerbate tensions, creating small resentments that grow over time. Money isn't everything, but it does complicate things when two people have a different priorities or approaches, he admitted, hinting that even mundane disputes about household decisions or expenditures could turn into sources of frustration. Beyond finances, the pressures of raising children and managing blended family dynamics added layers of complexity, further straining their bond. Eastwood's revelation about his marriage to Dina Ruiz is remarkable, not only for its honesty, but for the rare glimpse it provides into the private life of a man who has spent decades projecting a composed, almost unshakable public persona. I think the thing people don't realize is that fame and success don't shield you from the same problems everyone else faces, Eastwood said, his voice carrying a mix of resignation and insight. Divorce, disagreements, disappointments, they are universal. You can't escape them no matter how many awards you've won or how many iconic roles you've played. Sharing these reflections at age 95, Eastwood offers a reminder that vulnerability and struggle are human constants, even for someone who has lived a life seemingly defined by control, discipline, and on-screen toughness. Ultimately, Eastwood's comments about Dina Ruiz are not meant to cast blame, but to offer a truthful perspective on a marriage that, like many, had its highs and lows. I don't want to dwell in bitterness, he clarified, but I also don't want to pretend it was all perfect because it wasn't. And maybe by acknowledging that, others might see that honesty is more valuable than appearances. In this rare and candid revelation, Clint Eastwood strips away the myth of Hollywood perfection, reminding the world that even a legend faces the messy, often painful realities of love, partnership, and the passage of time. His words resonate not only as a confession, but as a reflection on human resilience, the limits of compatibility, and the courage it takes to confront personal truths at any stage of life.